Hello, and welcome to the FASTTRAK InVision Quick Start series. Today we're going to walk through Users Enroll Setup. You can access Users Enrolls from the System Setup menu, User Enroll Management. By default, all users in your system will be listed within the grid. There's two primary options on this form. You can add existing users, or you can manage roles. The first thing you'll need to do is set up the roles in your system. By default, there's several roles that have been set up. It is the roles where you define permissions within the InVision software. A couple notes. Security in the FASTTRAK Ultimate desktop version is completely independent from security in the FASTTRAK InVision version. That is because FASTTRAK InVision has specific user experience and options which are not the same as what they are in Ultimate. Therefore, if you are using both the desktop version and InVision version, you will have to set up security on both sides. Within InVision, you're first going to want to go to the Manage Roles area. From here, you can see the list of roles that have been set up your system. You have several roles that have already been set up by default. However, we urge you to go into each of those roles and custom tailor the options that those roles have available specific to your organization. Depending on whether you want reservationists, dispatchers, perhaps you want to break it down even further to have managers, you can do all of this from the roles area. You first want to set up your roles. I recommend to keep it as simple as possible, but the first thing you're going to want to do is set up your roles specific to your operation. You can either add an additional role or you can select one of the existing roles to edit. Once you're in the edit screen, you'll notice several sections which roughly map to the areas of the InVision product. If you have any questions about the area themselves, you can always hover over the blue icon for more information. So for example, reservation access, view dispatch reservations, view reservation pricing, and so on can be custom tailored to your need per given role. So in this case, a dispatcher has been given full reservation access all the way to delete. They've been given full customer profile access all the way to delete, and they've been given 3 of the 5 dashboards. So for example, a dispatcher would like to see the general dashboard, reservations and dispatcher dashboard for status, but they don't have access to the biller and finance dashboard. Once you've reviewed the security settings for that role, go ahead and click Update in the system. You can add any number of roles in the system, and you can be as detailed or simple as you need to be. From a user's perspective, once you have the roles set up, you can then start to add users to the system. When adding or editing an employee, first name, last name, and email address are required. Email address is the most important, is because this is the username that they are going to use to log into the system. Once those are defined, you then set up the security role. The security list here are the ones that you created within your Manage Roles area. System Administrator being the most important role. By default, the first user created automatically has System Administrator role. For new users, you can select any of the roles that you created earlier. If necessary, you can tie this new user to an existing employee. This is very important. Setting up the employee record that you've done previously is not enough to allow that driver to log in. That is simply managing information about that employee driver, including licenses and whatnot. You must also create a user record, tie it to that employee record, and this will allow that employee to log in. This dropdown allows you to select the employee that you created in a previous step. Also note, there's a new employee option. If we choose this option, you can create the user and the employee in one step. Once that's been set up, you can choose the level of access. In this case, I'd like to have it InVision and Driver app. And once all information has been confirmed, you can click the Save button. One note on the right is company security. FASTTRAK allows you to filter jobs by company. That is, you can create a user and only give them access to reservations within a specific company. Once enabled, you'll be able to select which companies that user has access to. If you don't need to partition your reservations by user, you can always leave company security off and continue without it. Once completed, hit Save to complete the new user record. I'm going to go into an existing user to show you a couple more options. If necessary, an administrator who has access to user security can choose to send a temp password or view a temp password for a user. So if a driver has trouble logging in, you can send them a temp password. Clicking this option will send an email with a temp password that they can use to log in to the system. Once they log in, they'll be asked to change their password to something new. Otherwise, the view temp password will actually give you that password without emailing it to the user. This is important. If someone's on the phone, you can dictate the password to them, or you can use that temp password to change their password for them and send them a long-term password. By default, passwords need to be changed every 90 days. Drivers will have the ability to change their password within the driver app, and you also have your ability to change the password within the FASTTRAK InVision software. That's the summary of the user enrolls management. Of course, if you have any questions, please contact support@fasttrackcloud.com. Otherwise, have a great day. Thank you.